out there.
We'll get into more of this later on, but this is also another big move by another AFC team that might see the window opening with potentially Tom Brady on the move, especially in the AFC East, right? This could be the chance. We saw some moves by the Colts yesterday, and this is a big move for the Bills.
I mean, that's a big move for the Bills. Also, the big move to send DeAndre Hopkins from Houston to the desert. We have to get into that and the reaction, the potential fallout, and what that means for that Arizona offense now that
Another
has Larry
young quarterback.
Fitzgerald too, and Kyler Murray. That is exciting to talk about. Plenty to get to here. We are just getting started here on Free Agency Frenzy from NFL Films. The best corner on the open market has a new home and some new friends. The Dolphins making some serious moves. What that means to them and the division moving forward. You are watching Free Agency Frenzy on NFL Network.
T. Rowe Price experts go beyond the numbers to examine investment opportunities firsthand, like innovations in agricultural research. Because your investments deserve the full story. T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence.
Unlimited coffee for $8.99 a month. Panera, your cup is always full.
Don't wait for a chip like this to crack your whole windshield. With Safelite's exclusive resin, you get a strong repair that you can trust. Plus, with most insurance, a Safelite repair is no cost to you.
Really? Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Hi, hello, how are you? Great. Now that that's out of the way, it's the Casper end of season clearance. We're making room for something new. In the meantime, save up to 20% on a Casper mattress, including the one with over 50,000 perfect 5-star reviews. Enjoy sleep and saving money? Figured. Save up to 20% and try one for 100 nights risk-free with free shipping and returns. Visit Casper.com or a store near you today.
Mock Draft Live.
I love his game. I love his tape.
Our experts break down their latest draft projections.
He's ready to play right away.
Top 5 player all day, every day.
He just looked like a monster.
Mock Draft Live premieres Tuesday, March 24th on NFL Network. Join Commissioner Roger Goodell in continuing support for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Post a video of yourself running the 40 from now to the NFL Draft with hashtag Run.
The chance, an open look for three. Oh, Ivy. Time running out, drives the lane. Oh!
Time's running out. Get to Nissan now for big savings on our entire lineup, like the award-winning Rogue and Altima. It's car buying season. Hurry to Nissan, official partner of the NCAA. Get 0% financing for 60 months on the 2020 Rogue, or get a low $199 per month lease on Leaf. Get to Nissan now.
He's got the speed, he's got the length, he's got the strength.
Into the end zone for the touchdown.
We know the league better than anyone, and we're there to make sure you do too.
He's big, he's powerful, he's everything, and he's going to make some plays for you.
Kansas City, you've got a champion.
NFL Total Access, only on NFL Network.
All right, welcome back to Free Agency Frenzy, and it has been a frenzied night. Byron Jones saying goodbye to Dallas and hello to Miami. The Dolphins now have the 2 highest paid cornerbacks in the NFL based on average per year. Xavier Howard is now number 2. So a flurry of activity, not just around the league, but for those Miami Dolphins. We are rejoined by our NFL Network insider, Ian Rappaport. And Ian, not only did Miami sign Byron Jones, but they also got other important pieces to add to this defense for Brian Flores.
Yeah, a huge haul for the Miami Dolphins. And really, what Brian Flores, the product he put on the field last year with not a lot of talent, clearly was enough to attract some really good players. Let's start with Byron Jones, the top cornerback available, former first rounder for the Dallas Cowboys. He surprisingly agreed to terms with the Dolphins last night. 5 years, almost $83 million, about $16.5 million per year, the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. Not a surprise they ended up at that number, but this really was a battle. The New York Giants were in the mix, and the Oakland Raiders, or the Las Vegas Raiders, I should now say, made a strong push at the end. They end up, the Dolphins do, with Byron Jones. But, of course, they were not done. Earlier in the day, they had agreed to terms with Shaq Lawson, the former Bills first-rounder. He gets a 3-year deal, $30 million, more than $20 million in guarantees. A nice short deal. He is able to hit free agency again well before the age of 30. So that is a huge deal for the Miami Dolphins. And then, of course, they were not done. Kyle Van Noy, the former Patriots do-everything linebacker, and, of course, a guest on the Rap Sheet and Friends podcast this week. Great guest, by the way. He agrees to terms with the Miami Dolphins on a 4-year, $51 million deal for Kyle Van Noy. He gets $30 million guaranteed. He wanted to get paid. Man, he absolutely got paid by the Miami Dolphins.
Ian, what was the podcast again that Kyle Van Noy was on again?
Yeah, it's Rap Sheet and Friends. It's a great. Garofalo and Pelissero on it too. They do. We all did a really good job this week, I think.
If you don't mind saying so yourself.
You can get your podcast.
If you don't mind saying so yourself. All right, Ian, appreciate that. It's interesting to note that the Dolphins, they have signed 3 former first-round picks in Eric Flowers, Shaq Lawson, and now Byron Jones as well. Judy and also Kim, I kind of have to admit that Sean was right about the Dolphins spending money, using that cap space. Do I need to acknowledge that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I do, that he was right?
Do
I have to?
They were number 1 on the list. It was kind of a slam dunk. But I don't know if you live life above the rim. So,
so the Dolphins making some big moves here, and these are impact moves that you alluded to in our first segment, that these are moves aimed at taking advantage of the window now that the uncertainty is surrounding the Patriots.
Listen, I thought the Miami Dolphins, I know this is going to sound crazy given what their record ended up being, I thought they were one of the surprise teams of last season.
No doubt.
Yep.
Given what was on the roster, given that they were shedding talent during the season, that Brian Flores got as many victories out of them and got as many closely contested games out of them, I think sent a signal to the rest of the league and sent a signal to potential free agents. This is a very well-coached team. It seems to be a well-run organization again, finally, after a lot of years in the wilderness. And they are ready to make a push. They are putting together a roster. Look, Kyle Van Noy, Brian Flores knows him from New England. He's going to know exactly what to do with him. Yep. Get the top cornerback on the market. You've now got these 2 premier cornerbacks. They are putting together a defense that Brian Flores will be able to get his hands on. He knows what to do. He ran a great defense in New England. I am really high on the Miami Dolphins, and not just because it would be nice for the reporters on the East Coast to get an occasional trip to Miami.
Well, Judy, it's a great point, because if you flash back to the start of the season last year, I mean, the memes out there for the Miami Dolphins was, this is what tanking looks like. You know, they're trading away their players, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Laramie Tunsil, and it's like, okay, the tank for Tua cry started out, and everybody said, what are they doing down there in South Florida? Well, now, you just mentioned they just added 3 first-rounders. They have 3 first-round picks. So the accumulation of talent right now down on South Beach is, I mean, talk about taking your talents to South Beach, LeBron style.
Yeah.
They're taking it to another level. I think when you look at Byron Jones, all right, a lot of people will look, number 1, if you're starting off with the cornerbacks, interceptions. Let's take a look at that. In 5 years in Dallas.
That was a concern for
He has 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
All right? Doesn't have 1 in the last 2 years. So that's the first thing that people look at with Byron Jones. But this guy is a very physical corner. In the last 2 years, he's broken up 20 passes. So it's not that he's not getting after the football. He's not Deion Sanders. He's not going to intercept the ball and take it back to the house. But this guy is a very good physical corner. He's right inside your hip pocket, and I think it's a huge pickup for them. especially when you look at what's going on in the division now, right? All right, Stephon Diggs is going to Buffalo. So look, Brian Flores is saying, all right, I've got to win this division first. It'll help if Tom Brady's not there. There, I said it. We said his name. It took us a few minutes.
Yeah, no, but how long did it take us?
The culture right now in the Dolphins locker room is completely changing, and it's only been 9 months since we were talking about this could be the worst team in the NFL.
Well, and think about in this draft, a good one, they have picks 5, 18, and 26. You could, I understand what they may do at 5 or work their way toward that in terms of Tua, and we all think Ryan Fitzpatrick would likely still start. But you could get 3 instant starters from that group and make your roster even stronger. I mean, it is that good a draft, and they have 3 first-round picks.
You're right.
It's amazing what they've been able to do. They've also done something hard to do, change the narrative, beginning with the way Judy initially answered your query. Think about that. It was none of the other stuff. Not about tanking, not about losing, not about not being able to win. It was look at what the Dolphins are doing. And by the way, if anyone hasn't seen the spot that the Miami Dolphins website did on Brian Flores going home.
Brooklyn.
He's a Brooklyn guy, one of the toughest neighborhoods, he said, in the country. I'm not going to argue with him on that. He grew up there. But it was marvelously done, and it points to 2 things. First of all, Brian Flores is incredibly easy to root for. And secondly, I can certainly understand why players would want to play for him.
No, absolutely. They are trending in the right direction. Fins up for them. You can make the argument that Brian Flores could have won Coach of the Year
I said that
quite easily.
No question about it.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, a lot of people aren't surprised by Brian Flores and his success. He went to Boston College after all, so they're wicked smart up there.
There you go.
I think the other guy that kind of, when you look at that list, all right, you named Shaq Lawson, we talked about Byron Jones, but Kyle Van Noy, I mean, Mr. Versatility up in New England. That relationship is huge. And for Van Noy, what a great opportunity now for him to go down there. He established himself as a presence with the Patriots. Phenomenal player, great pickup for them.
And now comfortable defense to go to. Yep.
And Brian Flores knocked off Tom Brady and the Patriots there. I said his name again. All right, Sean, guess what?
Are we not shadowing
We're going to mention it over and over and over in the next segment. Are you ready for it? Brace yourself, kids. We're going to be talking Tom Brady and what's next for him now. Tick, 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 as we find out what's next for TB12. Sean can't wait, and neither of us can.
Bud Light made a seltzer?
Wait, Bud Light made a seltzer?
I wonder what it tastes like.
Only one way to find out. What are the taste buds saying?
Tastes great. Just hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Let's get that instead.
Wait. Post Malone doesn't drink seltzer. We drink Bud Light. Everybody knows that.
Why not try something new?
Bud Light.
Seltzer.
Guys, let's get both.
I'll get both.
Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good.
My home is my sanctuary. It's where I can just kick back and be totally comfortable in my own skin. You know what I'm saying? Rocket Mortgage understands that home is where I can be myself.
However you get comfortable in your home, Rocket Mortgage helps you feel comfortable financing one with a personalized experience centered around you. Rocket Mortgage. Push button, get mortgage.
You got this.
Take it.
Okay, all right. Good job.
You're not going to drive without insurance. That's as crazy as starting a skunk farm in your backyard.
Easy, Petunia. Back up. Seabreeze. I gotta call the General.
Thinking of driving without insurance? Don't delay because you've missed a few payments. From your home.
And on your phone.
The General has affordable rates even with less than perfect credit.
Just got insurance from the General. Smell you later.
For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time.
Work now, play later. Pay your dues. Climb the ladder. All your life you've been told business first, fun later. But why not live your dream now? The Mercedes-Benz Spring Event is here. With 4 models starting under $37,000, you gotta ask yourself, why not now? Lease the GLA 250 SUV for just $299 a month with credit towards your first month's payment at the Mercedes-Benz Spring Event.
Our Hillshire Farm craftsmen start the day slow roasting turkey for incredible flavor. Then they double seal every slice for freshness. The results? Well, they speak for themselves.
Enterprise Car Sales has access to over 500,000 pre-owned vehicles, most with tech features like blind spot detection, backup camera, because you never know what might be behind you.
Does the sloth come standard? Looking to buy? Enterprise makes it easy.
Unlimited coffee for $8.99 a month. Panera, your cup is always full.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
This is what an MVP does.
There goes Barkley. Oh, baby.
He's the best pass rusher in this year's draft.
The Heisman winner, the champion, Joe Burrow, arguably the best college football season ever.
Chase Young.
He's tough. He's an instant playmaker.
The legend of Tua has begun.
Justin Herbert is going to end with a Pac-12 championship and a Rose Bowl victory.
With the first pick. Ready? Let's go. Let's go! We're going to fight! We're going to lay down! Hey, let's go put the nail in the coffin, huh?
Tom pumps. He throws down the middle for Gronkowski. Somehow makes the catch!
Unbelievable. How the did you catch that?
Quick throw. And it's good. Intercepted!
We did it, Josh! We did it!
Tom Brady showing emotion, and those look like some of the moments from a pre-show meeting earlier this morning. Tom, you didn't get a chance to see it. But
there was no hugging, though.
There was no hugging whatsoever. Rejoined by Tom Pelissero. And, Tom, we continue to wait and see what's next for Tom Brady. We saw a couple of the teams in his division with the Patriots improve. What's the latest now for Tom Brady as we wait to see what his next move is going to be?
Well, as of late last night, Will, I was told that there have been no decisions yet for Tom Brady. However, there were a lot of conversations once that legal negotiating window opened at noon Eastern yesterday. My understanding is multiple teams are heavily engaged right now besides the Patriots. We know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have interest in Tom Brady. Bruce Arians came out and said as much publicly. We also know that the Los Angeles Chargers are a team that has been monitoring this situation. As for the Patriots, one of the big questions is, at what point do they make their move? Well, there is a timeline here that's important. If Brady does not have an extension before 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, he would count $13.5 million on the Patriots cap, even if he is not on their roster. The key here is, can Bill Belichick put together an offer and a plan for this Patriots offense and personnel going forward that is alluring enough to Brady that he sticks around instead of entertaining one of these other teams that is interested right now?
And Tom liking feeling that love. Not you, Tom, but Tom Brady liking feeling that love.
Me too.
And it sounds like, and we love you, don't get us wrong. But obviously, Tom Brady, we know multiple teams are in the mix with him. Tom Pelissero, as always, we appreciate it, my friend. So some perspective here. Now take a look at the NFL landscape the last time Brady wasn't in a Patriots uniform. Our friend Kurt Warner and the Greatest Show on Turf, they were Super Bowl champs. The Pats were last in the AFC East. The Browns had just returned to the NFL.
I see a Tim Couch.
The Texans didn't exist. Couch was one of 8,000 former Browns quarterbacks. And guys named Aikman, Marino, and Young were still starting quarterbacks. There was no such thing as social distancing. There was no such thing as Bitcoin. So many things have changed. I just randomly threw out Bitcoin.
They had no idea what it was. But Judy, there was some paranoia back in 1999.
I'm going to set you up because we already rehearsed this. Yeah. We were worried about Y2K.
Right. Yeah. Back then we were worried about computers getting a virus.
Yeah. There we go.
Mm-hmm. But that just happened. Here's another. How about a little thing? Can anyone name the number one song, the number one pop song from 1999? Give me a shot.
Baby, hit me one more time.
Close. That was top 10, but no.
Oh, okay.
It was a female though.
Okay.
She doesn't age.
Janet Jackson.
No.
J-Lo.
Close. No. Try again.
My next one.
Do you believe in life after love? I can't really sing.
Cher.
There you go.
Cher.
Boom. Cher,
Okay.
the number one
All right.
song in 1999.
Okay.
Followed closely by No Scrubs.
Okay.
Let's see. Which I'm sure you would have gotten.
The knowledge, you know? The knowledge out of Sean O'Hara.
Fun year.
I ask about algorithms.
Now we're all about Scrubs.
I ask about algorithms. He's like, wait, what? But if I'm asking him about Cher, he'll know all of the songs. So we just heard from Tom Pelissero. He said multiple teams are in the mix now. As we await, what teams make the most sense here, Kim, as we await to see his next move? We know that the Bucks have said, we like you, we're into you, let's try to make something happen here. And if we can't,
keep going,
we'll look at Jameis.
Keep going.
We'll look at Jameis. So, for you, how are you reading this situation?
Well, watching that video montage of Brady being Brady in a New England uniform, it's going to be really weird if we see him, and do we see him with that kind of an emotional, at that emotional pitch in a different uniform? I mean, that would be an incredibly weird circumstance to start the NFL season this fall. I still think it's New England. I think that still makes sense for everyone involved. By the way, something we haven't talked about, Tom Brady related, who quarterbacks the New England Patriots if Tom leaves?
Andy Dalton.
They make that trade?
I don't know.
I mean, but it's not. There's not an obvious answer.
No, you're right.
There's not. Jimmy Garoppolo left a few years ago. There's not an obvious answer. It's a very strange time.
Yeah, and
when you think
wonder,
about this.
then would they go out and get a Teddy Bridgewater? Would that make sense for them there? Right? And so here's my thing. Obviously, we talked about this yesterday, about him feeling the love. He wants to get that, right? Mm-hmm. And he obviously is going to be getting that from the Bucks. But then it begs the question, does he want to go to a team where they instantly can compete, or is he looking for a payday that would be expected to be a big one, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, this is the new normal now. And it's so weird to be talking about Tom Brady playing for another team. Just like it's so weird to have all this space amongst us and the way that we're living our everyday life. But I keep going back to what you're saying about the Patriots. We're talking about Tom Brady. Just think about this. This is a man that's wearing the same shoulder pads that he was given his freshman year at Michigan. The same ones for the last 20 years he's been wearing them. They recondition them every single year. So this is a man who likes his routine, who is loyal. It's hard for me to wrap my head around him not being a New England Patriot. And they're doing some things to make the team better. When you look at the fact that they just franchise tagged Joe Tooney, the left guard. Isaiah Wynn will be back. They won football games last year with Marshall Newhouse at left tackle, who was hanging on by a thread. And I think when you look at the Patriots, they're still his best chance to win. So I still feel like, man, I can't envision Tom in another uniform, but 2 decades worth of one thing will lead you into where he's at right now, which is he got a hall pass. Bill Belichick and Bob Kraft said, you got a hall pass, go out there and go see what's out there. And my feeling on this is I almost wonder if this isn't all up to just Tom. This is now a family decision. And if you have a chance to move your family to Los Angeles, say the Chargers, for example, the quality of life, the totally different scenario for him, LA could be a very big possibility, and they have some very talented players on offense. I mentioned yesterday with Hunter Henry at tight end, who they tagged, with Keenan Allen in the slot, with Williams outside, they could add some more people, and then Austin Eckler out of the backfield. That is a very lucrative-looking offense. They've got to shore up some offensive line situation, but that could be a very big ploy, not just for Tom the player, but how about for Tom and his family?
Yeah.
I think the best thing is New England, and here's why. Strip all of the emotional reasons out of it and the family considerations, which I think are considerable considerations. I talked to an owner last night who said he doesn't think that teams are going to be able to report until training camp. Goodness knows what the league is going to look like next year under those conditions. That means familiarity is going to be extremely important. If he is looking for the best chance to win next year, if he's thinking he's only got 2 more seasons and you want to try to win next year, there's no question the Patriots give him. There's going to be no adaptation period available to anybody in the NFL. Go where you're familiar. You know where your parking space is. You know where your locker is. You know the trainers. That's the best fit. But I agree. I think the emotional considerations are going to be significant.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up because the last time that happened, where there was no football until training camp.
That's right.
Guess what year? And guess who was in the Super Bowl?
That was the New York Giants.
2011.
New England
Giants
Patriots.
and the Patriots. So if that is,
you always
if that's
bring it back to yourself.
Hey, sign us up for it. All right, we're in.
Sean,
no football until July.
We're talking about Tom Brady. Let's make it about me.
No, it was Patriots and Giants. I wasn't even in that game.
No, but let me me ask you this, though. Do you think that Tom Brady needs to see the Patriots make some moves this offseason to get him help on offense to entice him to sign? Do you think that needs to happen?
No question. I think he needs to see that they are committed to shoring up the offense. That was a theme all last season. Even when they won games, he would come into his post-game press conferences and clearly be frustrated by how they were winning with defense and special teams, which is great, except if you're Tom Brady and you want to have one of the best offenses in the league. They've got to show him that they're serious about shoring things up. They didn't do anything to replace Rob Gronkowski last year. They need to show him that they're all in to help him.
And you have to wonder if he would be singing or humming shares, do you believe, in Life After Love, too?
Yeah.
That's a serious consideration.
And Patriots fans want him to be singing Baby One More Time.
Yes, exactly. Well, he brought up the Giants, so we might as well talk about the Giants. They needed help on defense, and boy, did they get some. We delved into that. Did they do enough? And what's next for them? You're watching Free Agency Frenzy on NFL Network.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, in the final hours before the frenzy, we're in New England on Brady Watch. What's the Cowboys' plan for Amari Cooper? And who's actually worth all this free agency cash? Tonight, 7 Eastern.
Pain, swelling, stiffness. When your hands hurt, you can't function. Until now. Introducing the new Copperfit compression gloves with Sure Grip technology to give you more power, more control, and more agility than ever. Our most advanced copper-infused compression fabric woven into an ultra-lightweight performance glove that fits like a second skin to support relief and recovery of sore muscles and painful joint stiffness. And new Sure Grip bands built in to provide a strong, non-slip grip for more power and control.
You need total control of your hands when you're doing anything with construction. Your hands are your livelihood. The Copperfit gloves are great. The grip is outstanding here with these different ribs. It makes my hand a lot more usable. It just feels like you're just ready to start the job.
The gloves have been a game changer for me. They help with flexibility and pain and soreness. They allow me to do my job even better.
Breathable wicking fabric with an open finger design for full range of motion, feel, and control.
They relieve my pain. When I grab something, I'm not in pain. The support or whatever magic these things do, I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter to me what it is, it works.
I get a lot of pain, and it can make it difficult to do the smallest thing. While I'm wearing this, I do not have any pain. I can use it on the keyboard, I can use my phone, I drive with it, I sleep with it. I love this glove.
The new Copperfit compression gloves with Sure Grip technology. Relief from painful muscle and joint soreness. Guaranteed or your money back. Call 1-800-249-2701 or on the web at getcopperfitgloves.com for only $19.99. Order right now and your shipping is free.
I tried it, I use it, I know it works.
Copperfit gloves definitely just make my life better.
I've used Copperfit before. This has helped my hands so much. These things work.
Feel better with copper-infused compression. Ask for it by name. Copperfit compression gloves.
Don't look good.
Yeah, it looks like it's both. Just what I don't need.
This is what you do need.
Complete the application within minutes, and if approved, you may get the money you need as soon as the same business day. Get the cash you need fast. Apply online today. Go to cashnetusa.com.
We were taught and raised that we all exist here on this planet to benefit others. That's how my wife and I feel when we give to St. Jude every month. Our giving is right up there with our mortgage. That's the priority that we put on giving to St. Jude.
All we gotta do is do our job.
We live for this. Steps up. Got running room. We're counting down the top 10 games of the year.
Touchdown! Titans! Oh, what a play! Unbelievable! End zone! It is caught!
The 49ers are gonna win the game! Relive the moments that made the NFL's 100th season unforgettable.
Chiefs are champions of Super Bowl 54!
The top 10 games of the year on NFL Network.
Well, the Giants were looking for help on defense, and they got it in the form of this man, linebacker Blake Martinez, as our Mike Garafolo had reported, agreeing to terms with the Giants. And Mike Garafolo joining us now as we show you. 3 years, $3 million for Blake Martinez. Garofalo joins us right now. And, Mike, we know that defense was an area that the Giants absolutely had to improve on. How did they get this deal done with Martinez?
They were in it from the beginning, and they pushed hard, and they got this thing done. Blake Martinez was a guy who's got history with their defensive coordinator, Patrick Graham, who was with him in Green Bay for one season a couple of years ago. Martinez is kind of an eye of the beholder guy, or was an eye of the beholder guy coming into this free agency period, because a lot of people saw a lot of production, and then other folks said, yeah, but like, is it impactful production? Is he making those stops closer to the line of scrimmage, or are they further down the field? And I know this. Given the system that he was in last year in Green Bay, which was a really important one for him heading into free agency, it doesn't really allow too much for the linebacker to make those impactful plays closer to the season. He had to kind of be reading a little bit more, so he felt like coming into this free agency period, he didn't necessarily have his best tape. Well, the Giants saw it, and Patrick Graham knows what he can get in Blake Martinez. That is why they went for him. That's why they pushed strong, and that's why they closed it out last night. Elsewhere for the Giants, they bring in James Bradberry, a player that Dave Gettleman, the general manager, knows extremely well because he brought him into Carolina when he was the general manager there, drafting Bradberry, and they've got a really young group of cornerbacks. They need some veteran experience, and they're hopeful that Bradberry will be that guy. A lot of people thought of him, he's a really good if you have a certain system in place for him. Gettleman knows what he is. Gettleman knows what he can do, so you would think that that's the way that the Giants are going to do it for Bradberry. They signed him to 3 years, $45 million, healthy contract for James Bradberry, rivaling, I'm going to get this word out, rivaling the one that Josh Norman signed a couple of years ago. Bradberry helped replace Norman when he left Carolina.
All right, thank you for clearing that up. And also, I should point out, when I'm not working here, I am home, and I'm a voracious reader. And one of the books that I am reading right now currently, and on page 120, is this one, Dealing with Difficult People, is written by Craig Germain, our boss.
Yeah.
And some interesting things about you, Jeezy. Yeah, some interesting things.
There was a prop used 2 years ago by Steve Smith, and it has not left Craig's office. Craig, our coordinating producer, who's been mentioned like 3 times already on the show, which is 3 times too many. We move on.
All right, Jeezy.
What's interesting is the bibliography. How many people contributed to that novel?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, they were coming out of the woodwork to try to get a footnote in there on Mikey G.
There were several others. Mike G being an excellent sport about this, obviously great guy and excellent reporter as well. When we look at the Giants, it seems like they've been in this perpetual state of looking for the next Antonio Pierce. They've been looking for the next Justin Tuck. So now they make a couple of moves, doling out a couple of 3-year contracts. Kim, in your opinion, what do you think of what they did to shore up this defense?
Well, they're still looking for the next Antrell Roll. I mean, they're looking for a leader. They're looking for the next Landon Collins in terms of leadership on that defense. So, and production as well, by the way. So the Giants, to an extent, are doing a little bit of a spin, and that's at the cornerback position, because we saw them a couple of years ago use a 3rd-round supplemental pick for Sam Beal. They then moved up to get DeAndre Baker last year. They took 2 more corners later in that draft. Now they're going and spending bigger money on a corner in free agency. So after believing Janoris Jenkins could be a mentor and leader to that group, and that didn't work out. He didn't last the full season last year. So the Giants, to some degree, have to be looking for stability. That is why I do think you have to like the move. The corner seems like a player that's going to help them change their defense, Sean, and you know as well as anyone they have to do that. The middle linebacker, to me, is interesting because of what he could represent, something they haven't had for a long time.
Yeah, certainly somebody that can do it all. And Blake Martinez, who you're referring to, has been extremely durable. He's been extremely tough. I don't think he's missed a game in 3 or 4 years.
But not a guy, though, that comes with a lot of sizzle. right?
Yeah, I find he's not he doesn't have the speed of Luke Kuechly, and he may not be quite the thumper that Bobby Wagner is. And actually, I remember talking about him during the season right here on this same set on Good Morning Football Weekend, and he was kind of under the radar, but yet he's been one of the best tacklers in the NFL the last 2 seasons. So for the New York Giants, this is a breath of fresh air. A linebacker who doesn't come off the field and who can tackle, yes, sign me up, please. I think for Blake Martinez, the one thing that he really showed last year, he had 8 sacks. He became a player in the passing game. He started with some of the schemes that Mike Pettin drew up. He was doing a great job of timing up some blitzes, adding some pressure to the quarterback. So that's a sight for Giants' sore eyes because their defense had struggled to get to the quarterback. So big sign for him. I think one of the toughest things about getting to the quarterback is you've got to have guys to cover. So I think Bradbury is a big addition. Think about this, too. The Giants drafted 3 corners last year. So they have a very young corner room. The secondary is very young. So bringing in a veteran like Bradbury will certainly help all those guys out. I think the Giants still need some more pass rush up front. So that's the one area where I think they're going to focus on now.
That's what I was just going to say.
I'm sorry.
Next question. No, you stepped on my line, but I just said
I read her book, too.
I just said it to Kim. Where's the pass rush coming from? We know they franchise tagged Leonard Williams. That's not going to do it.
Right.
That's not it. Those great Giants teams we just talked about a few minutes ago were pass rush driven. They have to get pass rushers now.
Yep.
The whole defense needed to be remade, and these are 2 positive steps in that direction. They hope. But now you got to focus on the heart of what the Giants' defense is supposed to look like.
And how about on offense? What do you think that they need to do to improve that offense for Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley?
It's try number 3 on the offensive line.
Yeah.
And at some point you have to get that part of it right. And, in this draft you can get a tackle. We all know them. We all watch them work out at the combine, and they are remarkably athletic for these big men that they are. The Giants at 4 certainly could address it that way.
I mean, they need an offensive lineman like a Sean O'Hara.
Well, listen,
they do need a center.
No, this offensive line is much better than we have seen them play. And I think this new offense, think about bringing Jason Garrett to the Giants. All right, look, it's not just the fact that he has Princeton ties and he's a Jersey kid. The offense for the Dallas Cowboys, since Jason Garrett has been there, has been a run-first offense. So that dynamic is going to change, as it should, when you have Saquon Barkley as your feature player offensively.
All right, so offensive line, certainly a area of need for the Giants as they're looking to continue to build on what they did yesterday and getting a couple of big free agent signings. And speaking of signings, Teddy Bridgewater still hasn't signed with a team. Where he could possibly land. We delve into that and more ahead on Free Agency Frenzy.
Free.
That's right. TurboTax Free is free. Free.
This right here is the new papadilla, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Latin for better than a sandwich. Even has a better pickle. Get a new papadilla for $6. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Hi. Hello. How are you? Great. Now that that's out of the way, it's the Casper end of season clearance. We're making room for something new. In the meantime, save up to 20% on a Casper mattress, including the one with over 50,000 perfect 5-star reviews. Enjoy sleep and saving money? Figured. Save up to 20% and try one for 100 nights risk-free with free shipping and returns. Visit Casper.com or a store near you today.
When the world is watching and you need your logo to be perfect, you need certainty. At 4imprint, we give you the ultimate guarantee. Because when something has your logo on it, it matters to you, your customers, your coworkers, and to us. Our wide selection always changes to keep up with the latest trends. But there is one thing we delivered that's timeless: certainty. Explore thousands of promotional products at 4imprint.com. 4imprint, for certain.
Sports fans are gearing up at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
I've been thinking a lot about space lately. Specifically, this space out back. And how I can turn it from this into something amazing.
First month's rent is just $1. Publicstorage.com.
Rule 12, Section 2, Article 7. This prohibits the blindside block. Rule 6, Section 2, Article 1. This eliminates the wedge block. And this is Dr. Jeff Crandall, the expert whose research helps change rules. Through innovations in equipment, smarter preseason routines, and improvements to the rules of the game, the NFL's health and safety initiatives help to reduce injuries on kickoff by 26%. So
Introducing Color Snap Color ID from Sherwin-Williams. Color palettes curated just for you.
The chance, an open look for three. Oh, baby! Time running out, drives the lane. Oh!
Time's running out. Get to Nissan now for big savings on our entire lineup, like the award-winning Rogue and Altima. It's car buying season. Hurry to Nissan, official partner of the NCAA. Get 0% financing for 60 months on the 2020 Rogue, or get a low $199 per month lease on Leaf. Get to Nissan now.
It started with this bill to restore voting rights. Players from the Saints helped that law get passed because they got involved.
When an athlete steps up, people listen.
It's the power of collaboration. That's how we create change.
All right, free agency frenzy back on your screens, and Teddy Bridgewater set to become a free agent tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, don't freak out. That was Alvin Kamara we were showing.
Yes.
He's not a free agent.
No, he is not a free agent. He is
that guy.
Gainfully employed, ladies and gentlemen.
People just put down their hurricane.
Bridgewater
or pick up
is still waiting to see where he will end up. Of course, he was 5-0 while filling in for Drew Brees this past season. 9 touchdowns, just 2 picks. Much better than his numbers from the first 5 years of his career. And remember, he only started 1 game between 2016 and 2018. So Teddy Bridgewater, one of those quarterbacks who's out there waiting to see how the dominoes will fall. And at this point in time, where do you think he may end up at this particular time? We talked about it yesterday, of course. Things have changed. But what makes most sense for him?
Well, things haven't changed enough, I think, because
they need to change more.
The big domino has to fall, and that's Brady. And if Brady, for instance, goes to Tampa Bay, let's say, then that takes that out. And I think that is a great fit for Teddy Bridgewater. The Bucs, Bruce Arians, creative play caller, quarterback whisperer. I think that is an ideal scenario for him. But look, we all got to wait to see. I think the entire league is waiting a little bit to see where Brady lands, and then everything else falls in.
Yeah, if you're Teddy Bridgewater, Tampa Bay would be delicious. I mean, to have those 2 receivers out there, and Godwin and Evans, I think that would be huge. I think one of those games that Teddy Bridgewater won for the Saints, too, was in Seattle.
That's right.
So I think when you look at Teddy, what a great story, obviously, resurrecting his career after that horrific injury. But when you look at the way that the players for the Saints celebrated Teddy and his success and how integral of a player he was in that locker room for everybody, that's who you want as your quarterback. So I think that there are a couple teams right now that, to your point, they're trying to find out, hey, all right, who else is out there? But Teddy B could be a starter in this league, and I think Tampa Bay would be a good fit.
And, Sean, think about, you just mentioned his story, what this free agency represents for Teddy Bridgewater to become a starting quarterback again. We saw him with the Jets briefly. Yeah. They ended up trading him. We've seen him fill in for Breeze, and he was invaluable. I mean, he saved them. Thank you, Judy. Yeah. And you just saved me, so thank you very much. He saved the Saints last year when Breeze couldn't play. So I think you look at Teddy Bridgewater, and this now represents a true next chapter of his story where he, to some degree, is going to get to control where he goes. That has to be incredible for him, given what he's been through.
I don't know if there's any other guy in the league that everybody else roots for.
Agreed.
The way
100%
every other player, coach,
100%.
everybody you talk to roots for Teddy Bridgewater.
Yep, absolutely. And consider this.
What about the Colts?
The Colts It looks like, though, Phillip Rivers is more their target. Yeah. But how about him and the Chargers and Tyrod Taylor, two guys that are highly respected players? I know that getting somebody like Brady would bring a little more Hollywood to the Chargers and the new stadium, but that potentially could be a fit for him, too.
Yeah, I think that would be a great fit. And I think when you look at Teddy Bridgewater in terms of scheme, when he stepped in for Drew Brees, they didn't have to change anything. Right. You know, I mean, they kept their gas on the pedal, or their foot on the pedal, and they kept running all the same stuff offensively. So Teddy, he's versatile. He can run your play action offense. He can do all the naked and the bootlegs, and I think he can handle RPO stuff as well.
And as you mentioned, just great locker room guy, and I think he's so well respected around the league. So we'll obviously keep an eye on where his next destination will be. One of Teddy B's old teammates, Stephon Diggs. One word. There we go. Wow, he is on the move. No more cryptic tweets from him at all. Now he's going to get. Oh, you guys are all like bummed out. You liked the cryptic tweets. Maybe we'll go through them in the next break.
This right here is the new papadilla, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Latin for better than a sandwich. Even has a better pickle. Get a new papadilla for $6. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
I found a place in my heart. I found a light in the dark. I found my heaven.
The Range Rover Evoque. The only adventure sales event is happening now.
A well-balanced life deserves a well-balanced beer. Lower carbs, lower calories. Corona Premier.
What's a company worth? How do you determine the durable value of a business in the transportation industry without knowing firsthand the unique challenges in that sector? Coming out here, seeing the infrastructure firsthand, talking with the people behind the numbers creates a different picture. Once I know what a business is truly worth, we can make better informed investment decisions. That's why I go beyond the numbers.
The big day. Yeah. So do we have a winner?
And I believe this should cover it.
So that's $22.
It's easy to get used to paying low rates when you have the General Insurance.
Maybe Mr. Benjamin can help out then.
That's Mr. George Washington.
You mean Washington's?
The General will insure you, even with a less than perfect driving record.
For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time.
Cheers, Golden Corral to go. No cooking, no drama, just great party food. Crispy fried chicken, tender pot roast, carrot cake. Yeah! Did I say no drama? Golden Corral, the only one for everyone. Now get it to go.
Next, free agency frenzy continues.
Is in for the touchdown.
And NFL Network is there, reporting on live breaking news.
He can bring that magic with him.
League-wide rumors.
This could be a key addition.
And every blockbuster deal.
This guy's a game wrecker. He's a winner.
Oh, my goodness. That's big time there.
Free agency frenzy continues next, only on NFL Network.
Welcome to Free Agency Frenzy, and what a frenzy it has been. We're coming to you live from NFL Films, AM Eastern Time here. I am Will Self, joined by Judy Batista, Sean O'Hara, and Kim Jones. We, of course, are practicing social distancing, not because we don't like each other. Well, Sean? No.
To be determined, by the way, it's AM, not AM.
Exactly. There you go.
I call
wow. Mr. Broadcaster over here. So adding a little levity this morning. Obviously, we know these are uncertain times. Wherever you are, we just hope you are safe and healthy with family. If there's any way that we can break the monotony of your day, we are here to help, to inform, and hopefully entertain. And boy, was it entertaining to see what was happening last night. If you were sleeping, what were you doing? You missed a lot. First up, Amari Cooper will remain a Cowboy. He gets a huge deal to stay in Dallas on the same day the Cowboys tagged Dak Prescott. More on that from our NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. And how about this? Stephon Diggs heading to the Bills. And that's only half the story. We're still counting the draft picks the Vikings got in return. We'll delve into that, which raises even more questions about the DeAndre Hopkins trade yesterday that shocked everybody. D-Hop now a Cardinal, and Bill O'Brien has some splaining to do. Right now, doing some splaining for us is our cavalcade of reporters, the best in the business. You see them right there. Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and, of course, Mike Garafolo. And, Ian, let's start with Amari Cooper. We know that both sides there in Dallas were working on a deal. Amari Cooper had said over and over he'd like to be a Cowboy for a long time, and he finally got his wish.
Yeah, this one really was getting done all the way. It was just a matter of getting to that number. And the Cowboys knew right from the very beginning that if they got to the $20 million per year number, that Amari Cooper was going back to Dallas. It's where he wanted to be. He basically changed his career, revived his career after being traded from the then Oakland Raiders to the Dallas Cowboys for a first-round pick. And, of course, for the Cowboys, they are aware of how different things are when he is on the field and healthy. Just a matter of arriving to the right numbers. They did that late last night. The Redskins also had some interest, but it sounds like they knew that whatever happened, Cooper was going back to Dallas. In the end, 5 years, $100 million for Amari Cooper, $60 million in guarantees. And he stays in Dallas, and, of course, Dak Prescott as well with the exclusive tag.
And, of course, that wasn't the only wide receiver news that we received last night. Tom, some big news coming out of Buffalo.
That's right, Will. And this really didn't heat up until last night with the Minnesota Vikings sending Stephon Diggs to Buffalo along with a 7th-round draft pick. In exchange, Minnesota gets a 1st-round pick, number 22 in this draft, as well as 5th and 6th-round picks and a 4th-round pick out in 2021. Now, the Vikings were insistent throughout the offseason that they were not motivated to deal Diggs, even after some things that happened last year, going AWOL, getting fined. He did improve in terms of how he was around the building. After that, they were not going to let him go unless they got a significant haul. Well, that's exactly what Buffalo came to the table with. Minnesota now has resources to fill other holes on their roster. They have more flexibility in a draft that is really good at the wide receiver position, and they also have less drama from the tweets and everything else. Buffalo, meanwhile, gets a proven commodity here, a guy with back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, still only 26 years old, a player they think will be able to help their young quarterback, Josh Allen.
And, Tom, this was after we had a wild trade that many have broken down in DeAndre Hopkins going from the Texans to the Cardinals with David Johnson coming back. Texans getting themselves a 2nd-round pick as well to take on that salary that was fully guaranteed for David Johnson. But the real story here for many is how does Bill O'Brien let DeAndre Hopkins go? And the answer is multi-pronged, one of which is that Hopkins had 3 years and $40 million remaining on his deal. Everybody loves these contracts early on when they get the big numbers. Then they see the smaller numbers and go, wait a second. Julio Jones just got his deal done with 2 years left. He's into the 20s on an average per year. I'm looking at an average of like 13 over the next 3 years. I want a new deal. And O'Brien saying, we're not going to do that. These two have also not seen eye to eye at times. So O'Brien says, you know what? I'm going to move on. And then I'm going to bring myself in David Johnson, whom he still believes can be a dual threat, unlike he was, like he was a couple of years ago, unlike last year with the Cardinals. And O'Brien better be right about this because the heat is already on him. He's made a number of deals. People have questioned the return. They are questioning the return on this one as well.
That they are. Twitter was going crazy over this.
Can I jump in real?
Sure.
Just make a real quick point.
Yeah.
One thing about Bill O'Brien, and I know everyone is scrutinizing DeAndre Hopkins and how did they not get more. O'Brien shopped DeAndre Hopkins very aggressively but very quietly at the trade deadline and early on in February, really for the last several weeks. This is the most he could get. So maybe he shouldn't have traded him, I don't know. But I'm just saying he couldn't get more because teams were not willing to offer more.
All right, fair point there. Ian, Tom, Mike G, thank you very much. There were a lot of people on Twitter that were wondering what was going on, including our Adam Rank. David Johnson for DeAndre Hopkins would get vetoed in most fantasy leagues with the team managers barred for life. This would be 100% facts, my friends. Oh, wow, from Kenyon Drake with the eye-popping emoji there. And 10 plus 11 plus 13 equals scary sight. Welcome to the squad, bro. Let's eat at DeAndre Hopkins. That, of course, from Steve Kirk and Jalen Ramsey. What? So a lot of varying reactions, but they all were the same. They just could have used the shoulder emoji as well. When this news came down, we were thinking, man, oh man, this feels one-sided with the Cardinals, which I know Steve Weiss, who's watching, fabulous report for us, said this was straight up thievery, Judy, by the Cardinals.
Can somebody please post a video of, I have to assume Kyler Murray is cartwheeling around his house right now.
Absolutely.
At the prospect of getting with these wide receivers. It's fantastic for a young quarterback. It's a fantastic deal for Arizona. Look, I'm interested in what Ian said, that they'd been shopping Hopkins for a while, and this is the best they could do. I wanted to bring up our own Mike Giardi, who I hope has gloves by this time for when he gets out there in Foxborough today, tweeted a few minutes ago that the Patriots quietly checked in on both Diggs and Hopkins, but they simply were not willing to surrender the capital it was going to require to get them. The capital that was given up for Hopkins was not much.
You got to surrender
That's for sure. You wonder about that. I think Bill O'Brien is going to have to answer for this trade for a long time. If you couldn't get more than this,
how is that possible?
Then why do you?
How is that possible?
Because everybody knew, I assume, that he's going to want a big deal. But then hold on to him. I mean, this is a top 2 receiver.
But one of the more interesting parts of that, hearing from our insiders, was what Ian said at the end. Trade deadline, he tried to shop him. That changes the entire 2019 season.
Absolutely.
If that happens. He changed games down the stretch. He changed games in the playoffs. I mean, against the Bills. I mean, that to me was the remarkable part. And maybe back then it was a second and it just never improved. So he decided to go ahead and get the deal done. But it feels like he traded David Copperfield for a bag of tricks. Because DeAndre Hopkins is a magician.
Yeah, because David Blaine ain't coming, right? Straight up, right? That's not going to work out, right? And
you're so funny. You're just so funny.
I don't know why. I just thought of David Blaine, but you look at this, and reportedly they had issues there in Houston. So if you are a teammate of DeAndre Hopkins and you're seeing this unfold, don't you say to yourself, these two men have to work this out. This is a singular talent that we have.
But who's going to say that?
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien has as much power as any
He's got
coach in this league next to Bill Belichick.
No, it's a good point, though. I had you more of a Chris Angel guy, but
I love
the stink eye right now that Bill O'Brien's going to get when he is finally able to walk into that building and in that locker room. I mean, the guys on that team, to your point, Kim, they wouldn't have been in the playoffs last year.
No, not without DeAndre Hopkins. No,
think about it. Will Fuller was hurt. When Deshaun Watson was running around trying to save his life, he was looking for DeAndre Hopkins. So the ripple effect from this trade, I don't know if it's going to be worth it. And, think about it like this. You're a father. You got 4 kids, all right? You've got an unbelievably state-of-the-art SUV. The kids are watching TV in the background. They got their own headphones. They each get to watch their own show. And you just traded that in for a 1986 sheepdog. All right, and a station wagon that now they have nothing to do. So you're going to have to answer for these angry kids that are going to be throwing stuff at you for the next 8 hours in the car.
Here's what I have to believe, though, to craft what Bill O'Brien has to be thinking is he got a second back, right? He has to be thinking that in this draft, I'm not saying you're going to get DeAndre Hopkins. Right. I'm saying, to me, that has to have played a role here, that he believes he can get a young player who is going to be highly talented. They're going to be receivers go in the 4th round that are really talented in this draft. So he has to believe he can get something to where Deshaun Watson has a playmaker to work with. That's the only way this even partly makes sense to me. The only way is because of what this draft represents at the receiver position.
And it's a huge gamble. I mean, look, let's rewind actually to last year when the Giants traded Odell Beckham to the Cleveland Browns. I mean, people took the Giants and Dave Gettleman to task, and he got a 1st rounder, a 3rd rounder, and Jabril Peppers. And
it's too early to judge.
You look at that and compared to the haul of what they got with Arizona.
Right.
I mean, this is,
the hauls are not comparable. The other thing about David Johnson is I know it's a second back for them, but he had one productive season, and he's 3 years removed from that season now.
That's right.
We have no idea if he can get anywhere close to that again.
He's been hurt a lot. Will Fuller is always hurt.
And Fuller's always hurt. And if he's your guy now,
find a way. He's now
he's your guy.
He's got to be your number one while a rookie develops, right? I mean, you think.
And the Texans continue to look for a running back, too. Lamar Miller, Carlos Hyde.
We just
Here we
keep
go.
going.
David Johnson. Let's just
One
keep going.
thing, because I don't know if we're getting back to the Cardinals today, I actually still hope they draft C.D. Lamb.
Right, which would be insane.
Which would be crazy.
Then
all the receivers.
Then you say, just go, and we dare one of you in this league to be able to cover them. One of you, because no one could. No one could cover all of them.
They're going to throw the ball 58 times.
That's right.
Game.
Downright scary. Oh, the possibilities. And how about the possibility for one Jameis Winston? We haven't brought him up either. What is going to happen with him? Is he going to stay in Tampa Bay? Is he going to move on? We delve into that and more ahead on Free Agency Frenzy.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, in the final hours before the frenzy, we're in New England on Brady Watch. What's the Cowboys' plan for Amari Cooper? And who's actually worth all this free agency cash? Tonight, 7 Eastern.
This right here is the new papadilla, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Latin for better than a sandwich. Even has a better pickle. Get a new papadilla for $6. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
On top of first-class, best care, you will never receive a bill. The only thing we had to worry about was just keeping Azalea comfortable. St. Jude saved her life, and it saved us as a family.
I have a structured settlement, but I need cash now. Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. I have an annuity, but I need cash now. Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. 877 cash now.
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. All we gotta do is do our job. We live for this.
Steps up. Got running room. We're counting down the top 10 games of the year.
Touchdown, Titans! Oh, what a play! Unbelievable! End zone. It is caught.
The 49ers are going to win the game.
Relive the moments that made the NFL's 100th season unforgettable.
Chiefs are champions of Super Bowl 50.
Introducing Color Snap Color ID from Sherwin-Williams. Color palettes curated just for you.
The chance, an open look for three. Oh, baby! Time running out, drives the lane. Oh!
Time's running out. Get to Nissan now for big savings on our entire lineup, like the award-winning Rogue and Altima. It's car buying season. Hurry to Nissan, official partner of the NCAA. Get 0% financing for 60 months on the 2020 Rogue, or get a low $199 per month lease on Leaf. Get to Nissan now.
And I don't even know. But I want y'all to know that tonight is one of the best moments of my life. Thank you.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth.
And we are back as Tom Brady. We're waiting to see what is next for him. Of course, he becomes a free agent for the first time in his career tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. That is one key domino left to fall. Then you're left to wonder what is next for quarterbacks like Jameis Winston. Would Jameis Winston return to Tampa Bay? Of course, Bruce Arians has said, yes, we like Jameis Winston, but ... There are others that they would look into, in particular, Tom Brady. Right now, rejoined by Mike Garafolo. And Mike, what is the latest on Jameis Winston right now?
Yeah, what Bruce Arians said was we need to see what is behind door number 2, and that's exactly how yesterday played out. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers in communication with Tom Brady, making their push to see if he'd be willing to take his talents from New England down to Tampa. I know just the thought of it, I'm thinking about him in the all-red color rush Buccaneer. It's weird. I mean, there's no two ways about it. It's weird. It's going to be weird no matter what uniform he wears if it's not a Patriots uniform. But Jameis Winston, in the meantime, I'm told he had communication with other teams as well yesterday, but also with the Buccaneers. So the Bucs remaining in contact with Winston. There's no two ways about it. He is one of their fallback plans. I believe Teddy Bridgewater also a fallback plan for Tampa Bay. You would think that would hurt Jameis Winston's feelings, but if he hasn't been paying attention this whole time with Bruce Arians saying everything that he has said this entire time about Winston, about the mistakes that he has made, and feeling like maybe somebody else could come in here and play better winning football, if Winston hasn't seen all that by now, trust me, he has. So that's how this is playing out. We'll see what happens with Winston. I believe his preference is to return to Tampa Bay as their franchise quarterback, obviously. So he is waiting like the rest of us for this big domino known as Tom Brady to fall.
Tick, 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 as we await and see what is next in the quarterback carousel right now. And I know, Mike G, you are going to be all over it if news breaks in terms of Jameis, one of just 5 QBs ever to lead the league in passing yards and interceptions in the same year. The other 4 are all pretty good quarterbacks. Ben, Breeze, Bledsoe, and Warren Moon. So Jameis Winston, you look at also Teddy Bridgewater. You look at these quarterbacks around the league, it just seems like Brady is the key to it all. But just focusing in on Jameis Winston, first off, if he doesn't go back to the Bucs, is he still a starter in this league, in your opinion?
Yeah, he's absolutely a starter. I mean, look, you turn on the film and you see some throws and you say, wow, that was impressive. And then he follows it up with, what the heck was that? And so I think the big challenge with him really is, look, can we find a way to, look, you're going to throw interceptions. Look, Jameis Winston threw more passes last year than any quarterback in the league. So there's going to be some. But you got to get away from the boneheaded ones.
But if Bruce Arians can't do it, though, Sean, then you start to wonder who can, right? You look at the long list of distinguished quarterbacks.
Yeah, B.A. is kind of that guy.
Looked over,
yeah,
right?
I mean, you would think that he would be the one that could find a way to do it. That's why I think year 2 together would be crucial for Jameis. And I think, obviously, last year being the first year, there's still a learning curve. Byron Leftwich is a young offensive coordinator. So I think for them to have another chance to partner back, I think that it could be a very dynamic offense. But for Jameis, the big challenge he's going to have is convincing these other teams that I can do that on my own, because he hasn't done it on his own in his history.
I agree with the idea that maybe the second year with Bruce Arians would be, we would see a leap, because there were periods during the year last year where it looked like he had turned the corner, where the interceptions were down, they were throwing the ball a ton, he was having great success, and so you thought, okay, they've made progress. And then it felt like the interceptions come in bunches. It's almost like if he throws one,
yeah, right, here comes 3 others.
Yeah. And maybe he panics and it just falls off the cliff. I do wonder if a second year with Arians would be beneficial. But look, we've all listened to B.A. and we adore him for his candor. But when he says, things like, we want to see what's behind door number 2, whew.
But
okay,
it's not a ringing endorsement.
But I think that candor. Listen, not every player likes every message, but I think they'd rather have candor than the guy out there talking about he is our guy, and then secretly, God, if only we could get Brady in here. I mean, at least the players I've dealt with over the years, Sean, you were one. You can speak to it better than I. Would want candor as opposed to deceptiveness. And that is who BA is. I mean, and I think that has worked well with players over the years. I'll tell you one thing that interests me with Jameis, and it sounds flip or it sounds light, and I don't mean it that way. The LASIK surgery. If this was an issue, and it's an issue, if you're going to get LASIK surgery, you have an issue with your eyesight. I don't know how that plays into this coming season for him. He literally could be seen more clearly.
In 2020.
There you go.
Oh. Wow. You're just full of
that
them.
Worked.
Nice.
You're just full of them. But how much of it is mental and how much of it is the LASIK? And he also had a meniscus issue as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of those really had to do with the decision-making of the interceptions. But to your point, if it makes him better, then it's scary to think that there could be a better version of Jameis Winston out there. I mean, when you look at the numbers of what he did this year.
Well, the interceptions could easily come down, and that would make him better.
Yes, absolutely. Then you don't have to throw the ball as many times because you're not trying to make up for the bad throw that you just made.
Right.
And not just interceptions. A lot of them went the other way.
Yeah.
They were sixes. So those are hard to come back from.
So we're all thinking.
If you have Chris Godwin and Mike Evans to throw the ball to, you have to be more efficient than he was.
Absolutely.
You cannot be matching turnover or interceptions to touchdowns.
There's no question.
Can't do it. They're great receivers.
That's still the best spot for James.
Yeah,
I don't
no
think
doubt.
Any
it's a
doubt
good
about
spot,
that.
period. Yep.
But again, we're all waiting for. You might have heard of him, Tom Brady.
And I think Jameis is okay if he knows that door number 2 is Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
it's not really a slight.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, I get it.
No, you're right. You're right. But I think we're also in agreement that obviously Tampa Bay is a good spot for him, but also one-year deal would probably do it.
I know we have to go. It could be a crossroads moment for Jameis, though. Unlike Mariota, and they were 1-2, Mariota just signed as a backup.
Yes.
He was Mike Mayock's best quarterback in the year that year, I believe, if I remember from the Combine correctly, in the draft.
He was in love with him, yes,
right.
absolutely.
And now he's just signed as a backup. This is an important time for Jameis, so door number 2 might be the better option.
Now, that's why we call it free agency frenzy. This could easily be quarterback frenzy, the way that we're looking at it. Oh, by the way, we haven't mentioned Phillip Rivers. We're still waiting on news on him, yes. And the Colts might be trying to lure him in. We'll explain that and more. Free agency frenzy from NFL Films coming at you.
Enterprise Car Sales has access to over 500,000 pre-owned vehicles, most with tech features like blind spot detection, backup camera, because you never know what might be behind you.
Does the sloth come standard?
Looking to buy? Enterprise makes it easy.
How do you determine the durable value of a business in the transportation industry without knowing firsthand the unique challenges in that sector? Coming out here, seeing the infrastructure firsthand, we can make better informed investment decisions. That's why I go beyond the numbers.
I've never had Burger King nuggets before. It's a lot better than I expected.
And the best part is, they're 8 for only $1.
What? These are good. It's crispy and it's golden. When you see an ad like that, you don't expect them to taste this good.
Yup, 8 delicious nuggets for just $1. Your way, way better.
All Tyson Anytizers chicken is raised with no antibiotics ever. They're a great decision for snack time. Allowing the band to practice at your house? Not a great decision. Keep it real. Keep it Tyson Anytizers.
5 seconds left.
Yeah, that's my man there.
Timeout. Let's go to a commercial.
Oh, no, not another commercial.
When you bundle your home, auto, and life insurance with Allstate, you could save 25%. In fact, the more you bundle, the more you can save. If it's important to you, Allstate can protect home, auto, and life insurance. You could save 25%. If it's important to you, Allstate can protect it.
What? Bundle and save with Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
A well-balanced life deserves a well-balanced beer. Lower carbs, lower calories. Corona Premier.
If my life is about making music, my drive needs to be all about hearing it.
You have to rely on your gear, the way it feels, the way it does exactly what you need it to do.
The F-Pace, how Jaguar
makes an SUV.
For great offers, visit your Jaguar retailer during the Impeccable Timing sales event.
Do you get confused by wireless network claims? I don't blame you. The most reliable, the most awarded, the best, the fastest, the best and the fastest. Enough. Sprint is doing things differently. They're offering a 100% total satisfaction guarantee so you can try out the network and see the savings for yourself. And now get the new Samsung Galaxy S20 5G for just $0 a month. It's 5G ready.
The Army has been an awesome experience, but after Roman was born, I started transitioning out to spend more time with the family. I found this job as an operations manager on LinkedIn. I applied, and I ended up getting the job.
For the first time in 50 years, the Kansas City Chiefs are world champions.
They're going to talk about this forever, baby. They're going to talk about this forever. Mahomes keeps it.
Only official film of their historic 2019 season.
Runs to immortality and will be remembered forever in the Chiefs' kingdom. Kansas City, you got a champion. Thank you, Kansas City. We did it, baby.
Super Bowl 54 champions. Own it today on Blu-ray Combo and Digital.
Felipe Rios. That would be Phillip Rivers. Still awaiting to hear what his next move will be, although it seems like the Colts are a team that he is heavily linked to. Of course, he's set to become a free agent tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. So many dominoes that we are awaiting to see fall here with quarterbacks. We mentioned the Colts. We should talk about the Colts because they also pulled off a pretty big trade yesterday, helping out their defense. Rejoined now by our NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. And the fact that Chris Ballard was able to get DeForest Buckner from the 49ers, this definitely makes another impact name there on this defense. Ian.
Yeah, this really young, tough defense only got better yesterday for the Indianapolis Colts. And this DeForest Buckner deal, which really had been in the works for some time, was an extremely complicated and very secret deal. It included a bunch of moving parts. First of all, for the 49ers, they wanted to sign Eric Armstead, which they did. He gets 5 years, $85 million. That's a lot of money for a really, really good defensive lineman. And the 49ers made the decision they could not keep both players who they loved. So what did they do? They went out and they very quietly found a market for DeForest Buckner. And in return for trading him to Indianapolis, they get a first-round pick, a huge haul for the former first-round player, DeForest Buckner. And, of course, that's not all, because he also gets a $21 million per year contract. So that's what was going on behind the scenes. Buckner, of course, needed to do a deal with Indianapolis to eventually complete this trade. A massive deal for both sides that happened yesterday.
Ballard does it yet again. Terrific trade for them, shoring up that defensive line. Ian Rappaport, as always, we appreciate it. And the theme that we have been actually seeing over the past couple of days is teams out there trying to shore up their defensive line. They see how important it is to get to the quarterback, clog up that middle, especially when you see Patrick Mahomes, for example. People always say the best way to get to him is right up there, up the middle. So here we go. They get to DeForest Buckner, who's been a great player for the 49ers for the past few years, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, he's been one of those guys that's just disrupting the quarterback. And like you mentioned, he's a guy that you can move around. I mean, you can move him outside if you want to. You can move him at 3 technique over the guard. You can put him over at center. So he's very versatile from that standpoint. And for the 49ers, they just got another first-round pick. But we know they're going to turn around and draft another pass rusher, right? That's what they do, so, yeah.
Or get a wide receiver, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they could get a Judy out there or a CeeDee Lamb, you know?
Yeah,
so
certainly.
They could improve themselves. How did you look at this deal?
I think this is a tremendous acquisition for the Colts. Let me tell you what they love about him. First of all, only 25 years old. They love his length. 6'7", really long arms. My arms are nowhere near as long as his. They love his leadership, that he strips the ball, sacks, obviously. They feel that with him and Darius Leonard, they have a powerhouse defense now. This is a team that feels like in the next decade, they should win 2 or 3 Super Bowls, that they have that much young talent. If they can get the quarterback, of course, they thought they had him in Andrew Luck, but if they can get the quarterback, they have enough pieces. And again, we keep going back to this.
Yes, we do.
Especially if there's going to be some opening in the AFC, if Brady is on the move, they feel like they are poised to move to the very top with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Judy, playing off what you just said, though, I'm curious if they think Phillip Rivers is that guy. And I understand he's not a long-term answer for anyone at this point.
He's a bridge.
I get it, but at some point, build the bridge, right? At some point, you just have to go for it.
That's a great point.
I mean, so you're gonna hire Phillip Rivers for 2 years. While everyone else gets older, everyone needs to be paid then. I mean, they've got to do this now, in my opinion. And by the way, Darius Leonard already makes 1 million tackles. I think we all know that.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
imagine how productive he can be now, and he's already highly productive. I mean, it's a win-win. The big except, though, is a big one because it's except the quarterback. They have it all in place except the quarterback. Chris Ballard can work miracles. He's really, really good at his job. Highly respected. I understand all of that. But the but in Indianapolis is a big one.
No, absolutely. So we wait to see if Phillip Rivers is the answer there in Indianapolis. For the 49ers, how do you think this trade affects them? Obviously, they're not as strong without DeForest Buckner on the D-line.
They're not, and he is a great team leader type. Everybody loved him there. So, yes, it's a loss there, but we know their defensive line is insane. I expect that they will turn around and draft another defensive lineman. They locked up Armstead yesterday. Of course, they have Bosa. Look, it's a step back. I suspect that they will figure out a way to make up for it a little bit. You don't replace him right away, but I think they're okay. This is an area where they seem to draft extremely well.
And I know that 49er fans look at it as, okay, they picked Eric Armstead, who had the one productive season, but he hasn't been healthy over his former Oregon Duck teammate, DeForest Buckner.
Yeah, I think Eric Armstead probably a little bit more of a pass rusher than DeForest Buckner, whereas Buckner, you were talking about the length. I mean, he's really good against the run. He reminds me a lot of Chris Canty, who I played against with the Giants and against when he was in Dallas. Those long arms are a nightmare for offensive linemen, especially short rounds like me. So I think when you look at this 49ers defense, totally loaded, D Ford to go along with the guys you mentioned, they're going to be just fine. Oh, and they got a first-round pick for him, too.
Yeah,
so
they do.
It's purely economical here. They had just paid D Ford, and they just locked up Eric Armstead. So just kind of run out of money in the D-line room. You can only make it rain for so much.
And you're going to have to pay Bosa, obviously.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's coming.
Yeah. It seems important when you have a big guy up front on defense who can help lead the way. I get the middle linebacker thing. I love the middle linebacker mystique and everything else, and I buy into it. But it feels like when a big guy up front... Look at what Calais Campbell's going to do now for an already great Raven.
We haven't even talked about the Ravens.
Great personality to go along with being a heck of a player and everything else. But when you can get that leadership... I don't know if it's just mentality, Sean. You can tell me I'm off base if you think so. But I just feel like when up front there is a guy who says, I got this. Let the middle linebacker do the talking. But a guy who says, I got this, it affects an entire team and a whole defense.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As an offensive line, when you want to run the football and be productive, you've got to get to the Mike linebacker. It's hard to get to him if you've got guys that are logging up. I take it back to the 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense. All right, Ray Lewis was phenomenal, but he had Sam Adams and Tony Sirianni. So good luck getting to Ray.
No, exactly. And DeForest Buckner, by the way, turns 26. Happy birthday on behalf of everyone here at NFL Films. Enjoy your $21 million. Yeah, how about that? That's getting it done.
Winning.
Well done.
Everybody is celebrating.
Oh, yes. We're all about that. And who is all about Todd Gurley? We'll see if the Rams still are. Supposedly, he is on the trading block. On the move? We shall see. Happy St. Paddy's Day, everybody.
When I started Cobra Kai, the lack of control over my business made me a little intense. But now QuickBooks helps me get paid, manage cash flow, and run payroll. And now I'm back on top with Koala Kai.
Save over 40 hours a month with Intuit QuickBooks.
Calling all grassmasters, fescue fanatics, and stewards of St. Augustine. To the springtime sprawlers, backyard scholars, and cultivators of the cul-de-sac. Whether you're a rookie or a pro, run with us. For all the green thumbers, newcomers, and toy picker-uppers, run with us on a John Deere mower. Because this is more than just grass. It's home. Nothing runs like a deer. Save $300 on the X370 Select Series lawn tractor at your John Deere dealer today.
This is a payday bar, and there's only one thing you need to know about it. It has a truckload of peanuts surrounding sweet caramel. I mean, holy, look at all those peanuts. Best part is it helps you get through your day. Payday. Get to it.
And Doug.
can save you! Lots of money with Liberty Mutual. We customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I've never had Burger King nuggets before. It's a lot better than I expected.
And the best part is, they're 8 for only $1.
What? These are good. It's crispy and it's golden. When you see an ad like that, you don't expect them to taste this good.
Yup, 8 delicious nuggets for just $1. Your way, way better.
The weekend starts now. Make the most of every moment. The redesigned 3-row Acadia. Current eligible non-GM owners step up to GMC and get $5,600 purchase allowance on this 2020 Acadia AT4. We are professional grade. GMC.
Hello, son.
Dad, not cool.
You know what's not uncool? Old Spice After Hours and jazz.
Dad, I prefer Ultra Smooth. It handles sweat without all that jazz.
You're right, son.
Working out, not fun. You just gotta see the lighter side of things.
Crush me!
I feel great. A little sore and cold.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
This is what an MVP does. There goes Barkley. Oh, baby!
He's the best pass rusher in this year's draft.
The Heisman winner, the champion, Joe Burrow, arguably the best college football season ever.
Chase Young.
He's tough. He's an instant playmaker.
The legend of Tua has begun.
Justin Herbert is going to end with a Pac-12 championship and a Rose Bowl victory.
With the first pick.
Todd is back. Ride this young man.
Gurley behind his block, sprinting to the left side, and in! Touchdown! They run Gurley through that right side. He's got the lane, he's got the 10, crashing to the 5, powers into pay dirt, lobs the ball to Gurley, over the shoulder, he brings it in! Touchdown, LA! Working to his left, a stiff arm to the goal line, touchdown, Todd Gurley. Jared Goff gives to Gurley, he tries the left side, a vicious stiff arm, touchdown, Todd Gurley!
Some brilliant moments from Todd Gurley's career. Of course, he does have a big contract, and according to NFL Network's Mike Silver, the Rams could be trading or shopping Todd Gurley. We're now rejoined by Tom Pelissero. And Tom, how realistic is this for the Rams to try to unload Gurley and his contract?
Well, the Rams have had trade conversations involving Todd Gurley, who was one of the best players in the NFL before his knee started giving him problems late in the 2018 season. But there are multiple reasons that a potential trade of Gurley is going to be complicated. First one, as you mentioned, is the contract. He's due a $7.55 million guaranteed roster bonus this Friday. Also, his $5.5 million base salary for 2020 becomes fully guaranteed on Friday. So you're talking about a roughly $13 million commitment. And then there are the questions about Gurley's health and specifically that knee. Remember, we are operating under a unique set of guidelines here. The NFL and NFLPA had meetings yesterday, had a call to speak through all the scenarios here because of the limited travel allowed as we deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. Right now, under these guidelines, no player can travel to a team facility for a visit or a physical, nor can any NFL team personnel, including team doctors, travel to have a visit with a player or give him a physical. Players can go to a neutral physician close to where they live, but I've spoken to many teams who would not feel comfortable doing something like that. You'd like your own doctor to be able to perform the examination. None of that is to say that Gurley can't be dealt, but there's a lot of different hoops you'd have to jump through here, Will.
It sounds very, very complex, not just the knee and the contract, but all the logistical issues as well that need to be overcome. Tom Pelissero breaking it down for us there. So Todd Gurley could potentially be on the move, but as Tom just pointed out, definitely there is some complex issues with that. But if you take a look at the division right now, where the Rams play, the landscape has certainly changed. We saw the Rams, they were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. The 49ers were in the Super Bowl in this past one. And then DeAndre Hopkins gets traded things have changed in this division.
I was just thinking that when Tom was doing the report, that Super Bowl appearance by the Rams feels like a lot longer ago than 2 years ago. That feels like a long time ago. So much has happened, and the division has changed so much around them. Look, obviously, the San Francisco 49ers looked last year like they are built to win for quite a while.
But we thought that with the Rams,
right?
Too.
We thought that with the Rams, but look, we have seen the fragility of Gurley's knee. It's a shame. You know, is Jared Goff going to be the quarterback that we saw in the Super Bowl year or the quarterback we saw last year, right? We don't quite know where, or something in between. And then the Arizona Cardinals are coming up. Quite clearly, they've got a young quarterback, a dynamic quarterback, and now they got the, arguably the best receiver in the league just showed up. That division has changed an awful lot around the Rams, and I feel like they've got to make some moves to keep up. And by the way, we didn't even mention the Seattle Seahawks.
I was going to say,
the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that what's great about the NFL?
Mm-hmm.
Like this time last year, we were talking about the NFC West. Oh yeah, Seattle, they're always really good, and then the Rams in the Super Bowl, and we didn't even really count the 49ers and Arizona as part of that. Hey, they're going to be in contention for that division, and yet here the 49ers are, in the Super Bowl. So, yeah, that division's gotten so much better. I think when you look at the Rams right now, look, shopping Gurley, it's been a fast fall from grace for him. Yeah. I mean, to basically have been the face of the NFL for running backs, and then now to be in this situation, it's hard to wrap your head around. But I don't blame Todd Gurley for last season with the Rams. It's the Rams. They lost Roger Saffold in free agency. John Sullivan retired. They did not fix things up front, and that's what transpired last year. Every time I turned on the film and watched the Rams, I saw guys running in the backfield, Todd Gurley getting hit. I saw him not having holes to run in like he did the previous year. So for the Rams, it's not just about the running back. They've got to fix up front. Austin Blythe slid over to center, and they started to play a lot better down the stretch and towards the end of the year. But for Todd Gurley, right now, the only team probably willing to trade you right now is Bill O'Brien and the Texans, because he's giving things away. Because to your point, everybody is going to want to say, look, we've got to see this, on our own. We've got to put our hands on Todd Gurley. We've got to figure out what is he dealing with and what can he do.
Yeah. And this does not speak well to the running back position when we talk about longevity, and we want to point to these other backs, Zeke among them, Saquon among them, and others who are doing great things, and we hope they do them for a very long time. And then you see Gurley, who was doing great things what seems like yesterday, although time right now is standing still, given what we're dealing with. But and now Gurley, what is next for him? The trade seems impossible without medical clearance. Impossible. This large sum of money is due him, and a guarantee due him this Friday. Do the Rams part ways with Todd Gurley?
I mean, given this current circumstances,
I just don't know. The deadline is not working to anyone's favor.
No, but given the current set of circumstances that Tom laid out, is there a harder player to move right now than Todd Gurley?
No, you can't
because you've got to have your doctors examine the knee.
Yep, that was a great part of Tom's report.
I can't imagine that there's a player that would be harder to trade right this minute.
So let me ask you this, because we saw Derrick Henry get franchise tag, and we know that the shelf life for a top-flight running back is short. And then you start to wonder, for a running back, that really hurts your market, doesn't it?
Sure does. Although Derrick Henry's a Mack truck. So
he is a Mack truck.
I should have included him. I mean, he is obviously the best one at it right now, and he'll run you over.
But you look at Le'Veon Bell, he decided to hold out. Right. So it just seems for running backs, that's why they have to maximize what they can
100%.
now.
Especially guys like Henry and Le'Veon, who have heavy workloads, right? I mean, how short is their shelf life when you're working as much as Derrick Henry?
Henry didn't have it as early, though, so that's why he may be able to prolong this a little bit.
But last year, I mean, if they rely on Derrick Henry the way they did last year, that's a lot.
And they ended up releasing Deion Lewis as well, by the way, with the Titans. But you look at this division now, going back to the NFC West, this is going to be something. Also, Brandon Cooks has a contract that is going to be one that potentially they'll try to move as well. So a lot of moving pieces that we'll keep our eye on. But certainly now, after that DeAndre Hopkins trade, the landscape in the NFC West, boy, has it improved. Meanwhile, Jadeveon Clowney, he's certainly made an impact for those Seahawks that we were talking about. Will he be back? Can they get him to stay in Seattle? He is looking for a big paycheck. Maybe he will find it in New York for the Giants, who made a couple moves for themselves? We'll see. Free agency frenzy on NFL Network.
Everyone loves the benefits of compression socks, but they're just so hard to get on. Until now. Introducing the all-new Copperfit Energy Socks, redesigned for the first ever easy on, easy off fit to help reduce swelling, relieve tired, achy muscles, and provide energizing support. A new blend of stretch fabric for the most comfortable, easy on, easy off compression fit.
Being a SWAT commander, we train to win. The Copperfit Energy Socks, they didn't feel like other compression socks. They totally exceeded my expectations.
Our most powerful copper-infused fabric, woven into our easy-on, easy-off compression sock to help reduce swelling discomfort from prolonged sitting or standing.
I'm 38 and a half weeks pregnant. Copperfit Energy Socks worked beautifully.
Extra support around the arch and ankles for increased support and relief of muscle aches and pains.
I'm so excited about these socks. I'm so much more energized to go do things after a day of work. They just slip right on, yet they still have that same compression that you want.
A soft cushion footbed for all-day comfort.
I'm on my feet at least 9 to 10 hours a day. These were fantastic. A lot of compression socks are a little too thin, especially for what I do. With Copperfit, I could wear these every day.
Feel more energized. Feel more active. Just feel better.
They just hug your leg. It relieves all the pressure that you have. I have so much energy, I can go, hey, you want to dance?
The first ever easy on, easy off compression sock. The most comfortable compression sock you will ever wear. Get your Copperfit Energy Socks now online at GetEnergySocks.com for only $19.99. Call 1-800-343-4501. Order right now and we'll include a second pair of compression socks free.
I've never felt anything like it before.
No more pain, no more swelling, no more achy, tired feet.
I can never go back to regular compression socks again.
Don't settle for ordinary. Ask for the original by name, Copperfit Energy Socks.
All we gotta do is do our job.
We live for this.
Steps up, got running room.
We're counting down the top 10 games of the year.
Touchdown, Titans! Oh, what a play! Unbelievable! End zone, it is caught! The 49ers are gonna win the game!
Relive the moments that made the NFL's 100th season unforgettable.
Chiefs are champions of Super Bowl 50.
The chance. An open look for three. Oh,
and I felt like starting the Players Coalition and affecting change in this country was one of those things. We focused on police-community relations, education and economic advancement, and criminal justice reform. The best way to inspire change is to be it.
Wow, so this was just posted by quarterback Tom Brady. You see the font, Forever a Patriot. We know that the font is small, so we'll try to bring it out for you if we can. To all my teammates, coaches, executives, and staff, Coach Belichick, RKK, and the Kraft family, and the entire organization, I want to say thank you for the past 20 years of my life. and the daily commitment to winning and creating a winning culture built on great values. I am grateful for all that you have taught me. I have learned from everyone. You all have allowed me to maximize my potential, and that is all a player can ever hope for. Everything we have accomplished brings me great joy, and the lessons I have learned will carry on with me forever. I couldn't be the man I am today without the relationships you have allowed me to build with you. I have benefited from all you have given me. I cherish every opportunity I had to be a part of our team, and I love you all for that. Our team has always set a great standard in pro sports, and I know it will continue to do just that. Although my football journey will take place elsewhere, I appreciate everything that we have achieved and am grateful for your incredible team accomplishments. I have been privileged to have had the opportunity to know each other, each and every one of you, and to have the memories we've created together. The font was small. I apologize. Had to read that there for you.
There's actually
but
another
this,
page too, right? You get both of them?
I think you had the...
I think I just did that first line, or first page rather, but this is big with Tom Brady tweeting this out, forever a Patriot. So Tom Brady, in essence, saying goodbye. Wow. We have been talking about this, the possibilities of where he would go. This now, Judy, has become a reality. Tom Brady is moving on.
We've been talking about this since he had it put into his contract that he would become a free agent, but it's still shocking, even now that we know it's over. I mean, Kim mentioned it a few minutes ago. Where do the Patriots go from here? And what does his future hold? Where is he going? The greatest quarterback of all time is on the move. And even though we thought it was possible and maybe likely, it is still shocking to hear him say goodbye.
When you look at some of the people around him, the one thing that the red flag that went off for me was when Julian Edelman brought out paraphernalia saying, "Stay Tom."
Yeah.
That it wasn't keep Tom, it was stay. So I think part of this is Tom Brady saying, you know what, I've done this for 20 years here as a Patriot. It's time for something new. It's time for a breath of fresh air. And I think every single player, if you've only played for one team, you always wonder, what is it like? What's it like out there into the unknown? I think when you look at Tom Brady, he's earned his right. Let's talk about some of the other quarterbacks that have done this. All right, his idol, Joe Montana, moved on from the 49ers.
Brett Favre.
To the Chiefs. Brett Favre did it. He watched Peyton Manning do it and go to Denver and set records.
Yes.
And win.
And win a Super Bowl with another franchise. So this is obviously for Patriots fans right now, for this to happen on St. Patrick's Day. I don't even know. I don't want to know what Nathaniel Hall
your mind's blown.
Like right
your
now.
mind's blown.
This is definitely one of those days where we're going to sit back and say, wow, I remember when Tom Brady made the announcement that he's leaving.
Yes, absolutely. I know we're going to talk more about this in a second. Have to get to our reporters right now in Mike Garafolo and Tom Pelissero. Wow, forever a Patriot. And this is reality now in New England, Tom.
Will, we knew that this was a possibility when Tom Brady renegotiated his contract back in training camp last year with 2 voidable years, a no-tag clause, and the guarantee that he could hit free agency for the first time in his 20-year career. But it is absolutely surreal to read Brady, in his own words, say goodbye to New England. Say goodbye to a Patriots franchise that he helped bring 6 Super Bowl titles, where he established himself as perhaps the greatest player in NFL history. Brady himself says what I said this morning, which is that he does not yet know what his football future holds. But I can tell you there were multiple teams besides the Patriots engaged in conversations with Brady's representatives as of yesterday. We have talked about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as having interest. Bruce Arians has said that publicly. Also the Los Angeles Chargers as a potential fit. But now that we know that Brady is not going back to New England, you also have to wonder, are there other teams out there that potentially have an interest here that we have not discussed as much as Brady looks to the other 31 teams to continue one of the greatest careers in NFL history?
And when someone close to Brady was in the last couple of weeks warning that this was a possibility, saying you guys are probably not taking into account enough how the relationship with Belichick and Brady over the years can at times grind on you. It's what made that franchise great. but it's also what wears on you over time. His agent, by the way, Don Yee, just checking in, says he does not have an announcement yet on where Brady is going. Says if he does, he will let us know. So we wait to see where he is going at this point. I said earlier in the show, you start to think about him in these other uniforms and you think it's going to look weird. Well, it's going to look weird. And I think a lot of people also, to add to this, by the way, when Josh McDaniels returned to New England, everybody said, well, McDaniels is back there, so that means Brady's going to wind up being back there. And that person that cautioned me about the Belichick relationship said, don't read into that either. It's not like he's going to follow McDaniels wherever he goes, and the fact that he's going back to New England means he's going back there. So we're here. I'm semi-speechless. Not completely speechless, but semi-speechless.
No, we essentially are as well. Let me ask you this, because I know our Mike Giardi, other Mike G, had mentioned that the Patriots really tried to make an effort to try to get DeAndre Hopkins, looked into his availability and him possibly coming to New England. How big of a push were the Patriots trying to make to keep Brady and get weapons around him to lure him and keep him in New England, Tom?
No, I believe, I believe the Patriots were doing that just to make themselves better. And if Brady likes what they're doing, I mean, regardless of whether he was coming back or not, they had to prepare themselves for the 2020 season. It's not like they're going to fold up the tents and cease to exist. So my sense is that they were doing that regardless.
Well, it is an end of an era there in New England. And, Tom, now what would they do at the quarterback position in New England?
Now we are going on to Plan B, and you can guarantee yourself that Bill Belichick has been thinking through these different scenarios, knowing that ultimately there were going to be other teams that perhaps could make better financial offers to Tom Brady, as well as offer him more in terms of the established weapons. One name that's worth keeping an eye on, and a coach within the league brought this up to me yesterday, is Andy Dalton from the Cincinnati Bengals. This coach thought that he would be a great fit for the style of offense that the Patriots run. But you also have to look at the other possibilities. What other quarterbacks are available? We'll talk plenty more about that as free agency frenzy enters a particularly frenzied mode the rest of today, Will.
You are not kidding about that. In terms of now, you hear his agent and what's next. We'll await to hear that, as you had pointed out there, Mike and Tom. Wow, absolutely stunning news. We will delve into this. Breaking news, Tom Brady saying goodbye. His time in New England is over. What's next? His impact, his legacy, what it means for the quarterback market. So many questions. We'll try to answer them next.
Most jeans are made for average bodies, but there's no such thing as an average person. M. Taylor takes 7 measurements right on your phone for perfectly fitted custom jeans, and getting measured only takes 15 seconds. M. Taylor's machine learning technology guarantees a fit 20% better than a tailor, all without leaving your home. With the M. Taylor app, you'll never need to go to a store or find parking at a mall. And if you don't like your jeans for any reason, shipping and returns are always free. Download M. Taylor for iOS or Android.
It's hard to see when you're outside at night, but it's such a pain to install a light. Hi, I'm Hunter Ellis, and this is Atomic Beam Sunblast, the new solar-powered light that's super bright. Atomic Beam Sunblast lets you add a light anywhere. No wires, no pliers. Just stick it up. The industrial adhesive mounts to almost any surface instantly. And the atomic solar panels charge the built-in lithium-ion battery quickly, even on a cloudy day. That means no electricity bill and no batteries to replace. Then the motion sensor turns on the light when you get near and automatically turns off the light when you disappear. This state-of-the-art sensor can detect movement from up to 25 feet away, so it's a great security light too. Look, here's a best-selling outdoor solar light, and here's the super bright Atomic Beam Sunblast. Just look at the difference. And our unique wide-angle design covers much more ground, lighting the sides as well as in front. Stick it up on the garage, and it turns on when you pull in, then turns off when you're gone. The heavy-duty construction construction is weatherproof, so it shines bright all year round. And the super bright LED flat panels can last a lifetime without burning out. Get the super bright Atomic Beam Sunblast today for only $19.99. But wait, call right now and you can get a second Atomic Beam Sunblast plus our best-selling Atomic Beam flashlight. The super bright tactical flashlight that lights up an entire room and can take a beating. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 Atomic Beam Sunblasts and the Atomic Beam flashlight. So light up the night with Atomic Beam Sunblast. Call now.
Call 1-800-350-6798. That's 1-800-350-6798. Or visit bysunblast.com. So call 1-800-350-6798. Order now.
Next, free agency frenzy continues.
Is in for the touchdown.
And NFL Network is there, reporting on live breaking news.
He can bring that magic with him.
League-wide rumors.
This could be a key addition.
And every blockbuster deal.
This guy's a game record. He's a winner.
Oh, my goodness. That's big time there.
Free agency frenzy continues next, only on NFL Network.
We have breaking news on Free Agency Frenzy, and this is a blockbuster as Tom Brady, 6-time Super Bowl champion, tweeting out he is leaving the Patriots and officially becomes a free agent at 4 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. 3-time AP MVP, 6-time Super Bowl champion. He has decided to officially leave the Patriots. And this was a statement. The font is small, so bear with me as I read through it for you. To all my teammates, coaches, executives, and staff, Coach Belichick, RKK, and the Kraft family and the entire organization, I want to say thank you for the past 20 years of my life and the daily commitment to winning and creating a winning culture built on great values. I am grateful for all that you have taught me. I have learned from everyone. You all have allowed me to maximize my potential, and that is all a player can ever hope for. Everything we have accomplished brings me great joy, and the lessons I have learned and carry on with me forever. I couldn't be the man I am today without the relationships you have allowed me to build with you. I have benefited from all you have given me. I cherished every opportunity I had to be a part of our team, and I love you all for that. Our team has always set a great standard in pro sports, and I know it will continue to do just that. Although my football journey will take place elsewhere, I appreciate everything that we have achieved and am grateful for our incredible team accomplishments. I have been privileged to have had the opportunity to know each and every one of you and to have the memories we've created together. And that was just the first page. This is the second page. So bear with me. Again, the font is small, so I want to make sure I get this right and get it out to you. I wanted to say thank you to all of the incredible fans and Patriot supporters. Massachusetts has been my home for 20 years. It has truly been the happiest 2 decades I could have envisioned in my life, and I have nothing but love and gratitude for my time in New England. The support has been overwhelming. I wish every player could experience it. My children were born and raised here, and you have always embraced this California kid as your own. I love your commitment and loyalty to your team, and winning for our city means more than you will ever know. I can't thank you enough for the support of our team, the packed training camps and sold-out stadiums, and mostly the victory parades. I have been so blessed to share them with all of you. I tried to represent us always in the best and most honorable way, and I fought hard with my teammates to help bring victory and triumph even in the most dire situations. You open your heart to me, and I open my heart to you, and Pats Nation will always be a part of me. I don't know what my football future holds, but it is time for me to open a new stage for my life and career. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I will always love you and what we have shared a lifetime full of fun memories. This from the future Hall of Famer, 6-time Super Bowl champion. Breaking news here on NFL Network. Now, welcome to Free Agency Frenzy. There has been a frenzy of activity, but this has absolutely been a blockbuster of a morning. Will Selva, Judy Batista, Sean O'Hara, and of course, Kim Jones. We want to say thank you to all of those watching us. We know these are interesting times, and we hope you are safe and you are sound, you are with your family, and we appreciate you being here with us. Again, the breaking news from this morning, and it is a doozy, as Tom Brady has said that he is officially done in New England, as we have our cavalcade of reporters who have been all over this story from day one, since we had been hearing rumors and rumblings that Tom Brady was expected to at least look elsewhere for employment. Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and also Mike Garafolo. And Ian, I'll start with you. It seems as though now there are teams making an aggressive push for Tom Brady.
Yeah, and it seems those teams are really the teams we've been talking about from the beginning, and that would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who made a really strong offer to Tom Brady, believed to be about $30 million per year, and the Los Angeles Chargers, who also made a little bit of a run at Brady as well. From my understanding, there is nothing imminent as far as where Brady will announce or inform a team that he is going. It sounds like there's still some moving parts for several teams involved. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for instance, haven't closed the door on any of the other quarterbacks they are speaking with, whether Bridgewater or Winston or anyone else. And for the Los Angeles Chargers, it seems for them it would be either Tom Brady or Tyrod Taylor. But of course, the main thing, guys, is that Tom Brady is not going back to New England. And there was certainly pessimism in New England about that situation this morning. They felt the strong push from the Bucs, and it just never seemed like there was much of a connection, especially lately, as far as potentially bringing Tom Brady back. They never felt like it was really going to happen. And now officially, Brady says goodbye to New England, which at 43 years old, considering all he's done, is amazing. And for the first time, the Patriots let Tom Brady walk away.
Ian, let's go back to something I said on the field when you and I were standing together on Super Bowl Sunday, going through our reporter's notebook of notes around the league. And I said the Patriots were already going through some of their contingency plans because they had no guarantees that Brady was coming back. I still standing there, didn't believe that we were going to get to this point. And I wondered if they really believed it. So you're right. I mean, when it's not like the Patriots were caught off guard by this today, and probably felt more so in the last couple of days and weeks like it was likely. I'm going to keep raising my hand because the warning signs were there all along. And I just said, no, eventually it's going to, right? Like it's going to go back to the way it was. It's not going to be, well, no, here we are. So now we'll see what these Patriots contingency plans wind up being, how active they are, and how quickly they move, and what kind of future maybe Jarrett Stidham has. I mean, that's the backup. That's the number 2 plan. Well, frankly, the number 1 plan right now in New England, if you count what's already on the roster.
Ian, I spoke to somebody, or Mike rather. I'm all confused. This has been a big day already here. I spoke to somebody close to the situation a couple of days ago who told me they thought if the collective bargaining agreement had not been ratified by players, there was no chance Tom Brady would have been back, simply because it was going to be too complicated for them to have the space, not just to re-sign Tom Brady, but to put the pieces around him that he would need to want to return. When the CBA passed, that person thought that opened up at least a chance that Bill Belichick could come up with a plan here, put an offer in front of Brady, give him a plan for how they were going to bring in receivers, tight ends, whatever it may be, to give them the